Hi, it's Hazel, and welcome to my channel, Hazel and Aka Design. Now, whether you manage a household, are still active in the workforce, or are a freelancer, self-employed, YouTube person, time management is key. And, it was Stephen Covey that got famous by writing books and doing tape programs and so on. And, he was sort of the father of first things first. And there's a whole matrix and method for trying to figure that out in each of our own lives. That's not what I'm here to talk about, though. Other than to say, I think that all of us have had to figure out kind of what works best for us. And in the creative realm, I think sometimes it's almost mood-based more than external deadlines and so on. Some of us have, committed to certain YouTube publishing schedules, so that's kind of an external but self-imposed schedule and deadline. And then sometimes we let our moods and our state of mind and state of home affect what we do when. In case you haven't gathered, this is a bin with some baby stuff in it. Now, those of you who are regular viewers know that I'm supposed to be making a journal for my niece who's due in April. And they don't know the sex of the baby, so that always makes this part a little more difficult. However, I thought that because this has been put on the back burner probably for, well, a good month, because other things edged their way onto the front burners. It's a little... Do you remember that game from arcades, or I guess basically arcades, Whack-A-Mole, where things keep popping up here and there, and you're trying to sort of beat the clock and whack that guy down before the next one pops up? I think sometimes life is like that. So other things popped up that got my attention first. One of and this is, a bit of a spoiler alert, I guess, in March, which is also my birth month, I will be hosting what I think is going to be an excellent collaboration called Masterboard Madness. So I have I'm really gratified by the number of people who have so enthusiastically said yes. And I'm just in the process now of filling the last, 3 or so slots. So, and of course, the timing of this video is going to make this probably a moot point, but I am still reeling from the news that one of our fellow YouTubers, Carol Johnson, her channel was Lily Rose Blue, passed away suddenly a few days ago. And it's a reminder. I did look at her obituary and see that she was a young 62. And I guess it's a reminder to us all that we don't have forever, and that at any moment we could be taking our last breath. So I welcomed knowing her, and she had actually agreed to be a participant in my collab. So she will be missed again for, the hole her death has created. So I don't want to get all maudlin here or anything, but I guess like I said, it's a reminder that none of us are guaranteed anything, that if we want to do something, we should perhaps just get on with it and do it. If we have something to say, hopefully kind and loving, that we should say it, because we might not get another chance. And yeah, it's terrible. And of course, my heart goes out to her survivors. Anyway, and as part of the life cycle, death and birth. Maybe let's start digging through what I've accumulated here and see what I've put aside for this baby. And I think what I'm going to end up having to do, and this, trust me, this is not all my baby stuff. This is kind of some things that I have rounded up, either because they are in the color scheme that has been requested. What's this? Oh, okay, so that's just some notes. Yeah, let me shake out the crumbs in here. Paper crumbs. Okay, so the colors that have been requested, and of course it is a good choice because those colors go beautifully together, are purple, blue, and green. Now, as I was going through all my wallpaper recently, this is what I cut off here. I thought, well, isn't that lovely? Like, maybe there is no green technically in this part, but certainly there are ways to introduce green. So this is a vinyl wallpaper sample, and it will be the cover. I have this in here just because this purple part, and there is a fine blue line there, you know, maybe that will become pockets or something. So I'll throw that back in there. This is an upholstery sample. Keeping that in here as well, because that could be green. Oh, I was wondering where I lost this. If you saw one of my thrift haul videos, it's not that I lost it. I must have set it in place here. Well, let's be real. Let's be honest. I'm a stacker. So I must have stacked this on top of this tray, and that's how it went MIA. Okay, what else? Oh, I thought it was very clever that my sister, mother of the soon-to-be baby, sent me the school pictures from both the mother and father of this child, as well as a picture of their dogs. And then there were 5, and then no longer the baby. So, yeah. So I will work that in, as well as a copy of the sonogram. Okay. They live in a mountain community and are very much outdoorsy people who like, you know, hiking and fishing and stuff like that. So I'm thinking that some of these images in here may be perfect to work into that. So, and this one also has, you know, like berry picking and so on. So I'm leaving this in here in case I need those signature pages. So, you know, obviously scrapbooking paper and the strips that could be part of what goes on here in this journal. Now I have some, I've got some ribbon. So this one is green and purple. I probably unspooled the whole roll. Here is some blue 1/8 inch. These are, okay, this one could definitely qualify. These strollers are green and blue. And then these other 2 are maybes, depending if we find out that this little kid is a boy. Now this is a really cute little crocheted dress. It had something, I think this might have been a Christmas part of a Christmas ornament or something. So I should actually throw this in the wash and see. If that's glue residue, I could easily glue something over it. If it's something else, then maybe it'll come off. So I'll let that go through the laundry. Here is some more ribbon, and I think I might have shown you this quite recently in a haul video. So those things will come in handy. These were tiny little I think this was off of digital. I fussy cut around them. These are some game cards, some little baby bottle shaped brads, some hands. That was a freebie, so I folded up. Now I don't know if I'll be able to use this in some way, but this is obviously the negative of some die cutting that I had done. And put that in there. Now I had also, this was a digital that I had printed a few years ago on cardstock. So what I did was fussy cut around this, and again, depending on the eventual sex of that baby, some of these might be able to be used. There were also, there was one of those calendars. It was a scrap, I can't remember what it was called exactly, but it was a scrapbooking thing, and it had these sorts of pages and a date strip along the top. So this is obviously from 2007. I cut out the ones that I thought could work color-wise. This is some scrapbooking paper, again, that could be used. Some book pages. Actually, I didn't do this very well. Oh, this came out of something that Angela sent me, and I suspect that this was Kool-Aid dyed, because I think she does a lot of that. So that can be used in here. Now, you probably not too long before you see this video, you will see a thrift haul video that I'm just going to put this aside for a minute and come back to it. You will see a thrift haul video, and that's what these items are here, and what I was hoping to work on a bit today with you keeping me company. Oh, I also did some die cutting using this baby die, teddy bear, bib, word, feet, rattle, so on and so on. And I just kept that intact here in case I need to do more of the same in another color. So these little tips and tricks are one way that I try to keep myself a little bit more organized. Oh, that's a digital. Now that, I don't know if that will make it the cut or not. I don't know if I've ever shown you these, but they are, well, they're on a sticky dot, a glue dot. They are tiny little, we could almost consider them like slides. Oh, that's too big. Well, here I've just got some little feet here. Let's pretend this was a real picture. We could stick that in there, and I would be inclined to cut that little handle off because I don't understand it. You know, to me it doesn't add anything. So I have a number of these that I've thrown in here, again, as a reminder to use them. Let's get those feet out of there. And of course, I would be removing this. In fact, why don't I do that right now? Removing the glue dot and getting rid of this extra packaging. You know, I don't really like all the packaging. And of course, chances are I would never use 5 of them here. Although I could put a father, a mother, the 2 dogs, and then there could be an empty one left for baby. That might be a possibility. I'll have to see if those dogs' faces fit in there. Well, I guess the dogs and the parents. To see if that might work. Some stickers that just need, you know, to obviously be placed on the page. Some fussy cutting that I had done from some book. Here are just some pins, including a pink diaper pin. But of course, that might not be the right color. more of those sorts of things. Okay, I think we're now at the point where oh, not quite. Okay, so I sewed around this. It's just, you know, printed on one side, this scrapbooking paper. I thought that could be part of the signature. This is more of the green wallpaper that I used for the die cuts. These are from an old book. There's some vintage images. Now again, there are many styles here. So here are some actual photographs of a cute baby, a girl, I guess. This one you can't tell necessarily. So there are those kinds of images. There are vintage black and whites. There are these kind of retro kids. Now it seems to me that there has to be a repetition of some elements in order to make this all make sense and have a somewhat cohesive project in the end. Where did I put those photos? Just for the heck of it. I'm kind of curious now as to whether... Okay, well that little kid face from grade 3 would fit. That might be... I'm going to put these things in here because that just might be the answer as to how to use the photos. Almost like a family tree on the page or something. Okay, so that's a decision. Oh, another thing that has just rolled out of sight here. This was a very attractive border that I cut from around out of an atlas, I guess. So I have it in a variety of lengths. And so there are a couple of options here. It could either be glued down, or I could sew a paper ruffle out of it. And you can see I have quite a bit. So I might just, you know, take the longer piece, so maybe that's this, take it to the sewing machine later and just do a ruffle just for the heck of it. And if it turns, so I've got two longer ones. Oh, there's a boo-boo there. If it turns out that it doesn't get used in this project, then obviously, you know, it could be used anywhere else. So we'll throw those in there. Okay, so then this kind of brings us to, well, let me show you this book yet. So those could be, that could be backing for tags or pockets. This could, now this kid is wearing purple, so who knows, that might even, I don't know, I'll keep this. Probably not going to fit. Oh, yes, it does. Imagine, sorry for all the back and forth here, but imagine if this was, let's just do it roughly. Let's get rid of some of the excess at least. If this was on top of that. Now, that kind of leaves the mother out in the cold. So maybe more than likely it would just be a, if it's not too wide, a side pocket. Now, of course, I am, well, you know that I sort of do my videos and schedule them. I've said that hundreds of times probably, so that I have the, so I have some freedom, and I also don't get caught, as we like to say, with my pants down and not have a video scheduled. Oh, kind of gave him I kind of cut into his collar there. Let's just get rid of that. Now, of course, I will save those words. Okay, so let's pretend that this was a cover. Now, this was the end of this was how it was bound into the sample book. So there are those sort of puncture marks for where the staples went in. Now that would probably take up far too much off a cover to make it, work there. However, if I cut part of the guy's face off, that could be a tuck spot on a page. So I'm going to leave that intact, and I'm going to leave this with it as well as a reminder to try to work it in somewhere. Okay, so these are the covers. And what I can do is, maybe, oh, that's a good one too. Can you imagine? Back this one and have this as a side. Let me rip this out right this minute so I would remember to do that. And I'm not, oh, this is actually sewn in. Go figure. I'm not losing anything on the other side. So that's always a plus. So I hope that you are well. I hope the weather has settled down and sort of smartened up wherever you live. It is still pretty darn cold here, but it's surprising that when the sun is out, like in Alberta, we have well over 300 days of sunshine a year. So actually, there's almost enough to turn back here that I wouldn't have to back it. It would automatically be. Let me just put this aside for a second. So when we don't have sunshine, it's not good because I think most of us crave that. And in fact, if anyone suffers from SAD, seasonal affective disorder, then having light is critical to many people's moods. I'll get to these other things in a second, but I just wanted to, for the time being, oh, this is the other cover. Okay. Well, I can tear this off and put this father and child. See, this could even be a page, although you don't want to. Okay, so I'll just keep that with the book for the time being. But let's go back to this one. Now, I would have maybe fussy cut up that cat, but again, who really cares? So we'll do it. I'm just barely clearing the elbow of that baby. Could be a belly band too, for that matter. And then let me just reach for my cutter. It's not going to fit that way, is it? How tall is this, by the way? So 9.5. So obviously I can't take anything off the top because we don't want to give him a haircut. Let's just do that for the time being. Why don't I pull out a ruler? Wouldn't that be a lot easier for this measuring? Okay, so actually that's pretty close. It's just 8 inches. So we don't really want to, well, no, let me reverse myself there. I'm going to cut another half or so inch. Okay, and then I think what I'm going to do is fold this back on itself. And then maybe just tear this here, like so. Nothing much here, so look at me. And you might want to mark this down on a calendar somewhere. I'm throwing these 3 pieces of paper straight in the garbage. I'm not going to keep them for 3 years thinking I'm going to use them in a glue book or collage or masterboard. No, 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 no. Okay, so just to say that we've accomplished something today, pull out something to glue on. I'm going to give this a little dab. Oh, that seems kind of juicy. And then likewise on here, not going totally, well, I was going to say not going crazy with the glue, but then I went crazy with the glue. So because this is now essentially doubled, it makes this, you know, it makes it robust so it could handle things going in and out of it. I don't think that I would bother in this case sewing around it, so that is why I did end up putting more glue than I might have done in the first place. So I don't know, are we calling this our first piece of ephemera? I'll set that in the tray. Now, the other things I wanted to show you are okay, there's more of, you know, I have so much gift wrap, but yet I cannot seem to say no when I see more of it. So I took a piece of something that I've recently thrifted and just quickly fussy cut some of these images. So they're really cute and obviously pretty darn easy to cut out as well. So a couple of versions. Now, they didn't specifically say yellow, but we do have blue, we do have green. I think here, somewhere here, are a couple loose books, a baby bottle, and, you know, even some balloons that got, because of the way things, you know, where, you know, like this, where it's the edge of the page. But I kept all these because I could have this against the page as well, and then it will make perfect sense. So I would like to incorporate some of these guys, of course, maybe even in what we do today. But for the time being, I'm just going to stack this up a bit. Even this, you know, that little face could be peering over the top of a pocket or something, and that would be cute. I cut this off some packaging. So maybe I will just, you know, I live for paper clips. So I will put a clip on this just to hold it together. Forgot to cover the glue. And set that aside for the time being. So one of the other things I showed in the thrift haul was this baby shower bingo. So these are 2 of the cards, and there are more, obviously, someplace else. And at the time I said it, or showed it, I said that they could be horizontal belly bands, they could be vertical, you know, tuck spots, or a vertical belly band. I guess if I needed it, okay, how tall is this? So that's 5 3/8, 5 1/2. A person could add a couple more and make it a full-sized belly band if desired. These could be upper tucks, anything like that. So I think I'm going to spend a bit of time even right now, prepping some of this. Because again, it's so much easier to use these things when they're ready to go, as opposed to, you know, digging through the bottomless pit of options and then finding that, oh, it's not ready to use anyway, even though you've located it. Now there, I probably won't, see now this is really cute too. So I could cut it there. I could get my square punch and get a little square thing. The polka dots are really cute too. So I'll keep that as it is for the time being. I was saying I don't know, obviously, you know, to do an entire journal takes, especially if, you know, you're decorating it and you're not cutting corners or leaving it naked, it is a labor-intensive process. A fun process, but labor-intensive nonetheless. Maybe I'll cut this card. I'll cut the cord. I'll cut this card horizontally because these could also be, they're not too wide, 5.5, well, almost too wide. They could be, you know, kind of shallow pockets or a pocket decoration if I maybe remove one of the panels. So I just want to have a lot of options ready to go. Now, oh, this one, I ended up cutting all the white off it, and maybe that had to be. We'll do another one, and it will be the other way around. It'll be the vertical. There isn't a great deal of, I don't want to say clearance, but give here, or wiggle room, with that very narrow, excuse me, very narrow strip of white in between the images. So cut that very straight. Again, there are solutions for anything that happens in the course of our creation. When I was, you know, spending a lot more time creating art, and I'm talking, excuse me, watercolor and acrylic paintings, taking part in shows and competitions and so on, sorry, just trying to concentrate a bit here. Not bad. Oh, now I've lost my train of thought. Hopefully it'll come back to me, because I think it was a valid point. I like to think that most of the time the things I'm saying are valid. Okay, so I've got horizontals and I've got verticals. So I'll keep these guys together. Now this is, would I use this as a signature? I mean, I have more of these, so maybe for the time being, I'll just, again, clip this together and keep it as, it's probably not big enough, keep it as an option until I know what I'm doing. Oh, I know what I was going to say about art. Most artists that I'm aware of don't particularly like accepting commissions. There is, I guess, the plus side of having someone commission a work from you is that it looks like it's a sale. The downside of commissioning a work from the artist's perspective is that depending on how handsy, how pushy, how involved the person commissioning you wants to be, you could lose all your artistic freedom. And I think it's also really scary in the sense, oh, see, I'm putting this stuff aside without even showing you. I did show this in a thrift haul video, but if you didn't see that, then you won't know what this is about. So these were things I was also hoping to prep a bit today. So we'll come back to that in a minute. Okay, so there was, oh, well, let me just take a second and finish the thought. So obviously I could use this sheet if I had to in this color scheme. So this purple, green, blue thing is not the same as saying, I want you to paint a landscape and off on the left side, it would be really great if you had a birch tree, and then over there maybe put in a deer or whatever. So sometimes when people commission things, they are very prescriptive. They have something in their minds, and if you don't deliver it, then it would be considered a disappointment. It would be considered like, because they have a vision, they have an expectation, they thought they communicated it to you well, and then you ended up putting a spruce tree instead of the birch tree, and you didn't put a deer in, you put a unicorn. I'm just folding these papers because that's kind of how I handle things like this. I just fold them into signatures, and whether this gets used in this journal or not, it's still folded, and it would go with my pre-folded signatures. So I like having the freedom of having a few hints as to what the people might like. And this is going to be my baby gift. So, no one should be telling me what to do. However, having a few hints to me is just going to make it a better project in the long run. I'm just tearing the parts that are worth fussy cutting or fussy tearing and getting rid of the rest. So let's see so same thing here. Again, to very considerably reduce the stuff that I'm having to store and handle. That's a cute little thing, but this is kind of shiny. I don't know, maybe what I should do, this could actually almost be like a journal page here. So I'm going to, now that umbrella, you probably can't see that little umbrella handle would get cut off if I cut it there. So I'm just going to cut it a wee bit higher. We get the bonus of the little mauve. I'm going to take a hair more off. We have that little mauve strip there. Do the same at this, and mind you, this is kind of thin. The other option, I could make a kind of a deep pocket. Maybe that would be better. So what I will do, okay, let's do the first fold first. Okay, so I'm going to fold it where the design basically ends. So that would be one side of the page. I think that's pretty darn cute. So on the other side, we've got this. Now this, what are we talking about height here? Almost 7. So that's pretty, this is a pretty deep pocket, 3.5. So what I'm going to do is fold this on this second line here. Can't quite see it. Can't quite see it. And glue that down, and all of a sudden that becomes a reinforced pocket. Where's my glue? Whoops, wrong end. So then it's just a matter of doing a wee bit of, oh, big glob of glue. How did that happen? This is where you wipe it on your pads. I think I need a baby wipe here. So anyway, maybe I didn't finish developing that thought completely. So commissions are good in that sense. So somebody said, as as in the case of one of the other baby journals that I've done, somebody ordered, and I'm thinking, oh, well, that's great, because she likes what she saw in some of my other work, and it, oh, I should be trimming that, but let's fold it first. And that's always a good thing. I folded it on the line, and something is not good here. Again, it's not going to really be obvious, because unless this is a center fold, these pages will be far enough apart that no one will ever know. Now, why didn't I think of doing this before oh, no damage done. I'm going to take out that little skinny wedge where you can see it has already bunched up from the folding and makes for an awkward bit of bulk. Where? How come I can't see my bone folder? Anyway, it'll show up. Okay, so we're kind of making a little pile here, and I do have some other pages I want to show you. But, okay, so these things need a bit of attention. I also got some other not wallpaper, gift wrap. So this has those little ducks on it. And I just essentially tore this. So I think this was all there was of this paper. So I have 2 potential signature pages here. Now, in a 1 or 2 signature journal, I would not be probably using 2 pages when I've got so many other cute options. And then there was this paper. So I basically just, tore the edges. What height did I do this at? Yeah, it's 8 inches. So we'll add that to that pile. Now, there was another type of gift wrap. This obviously was folded there, but it's got these cute little rectangular shapes, which are, of course, so easy to handle. I believe I cut this at, well, it's over 9 inch. Oh, sorry. I'm apologizing to my coffee cup. But this could be a page edging. Now, of course, I wouldn't want that writing there. We see it's 1980. That's why it's so darn cute. So we'll put that there for the time being. Maybe we'll have time to work on this today. These were our stickers that obviously match the rest of this. So again, it would be cute to use some of these things when the time comes. So I'll put that back in the bin because we're not there yet. Oh, here are more bingo cards. And I also have, and somehow I just haven't been able to force myself to do it. I do have mega baby things already done and left over from previous baby things, baby books, either that I have fussy cut or ephemera that I made up. But so far I haven't, as I said, forced myself to go downstairs, bring that up, and have a look-see. And of course, that would be a smart thing to do because I could be saving myself time and effort. And, you know, that time will come, I'm sure. It just hasn't, it just hasn't arrived yet. Another thing I would like to do, now these would be the bingo calling cards, like the caller's card, if we were all at a baby shower. And so again, it's sort of this lightweight cardboard. What are we doing here? Okay, that's 6. That's 7. So too wide to be a horizontal belly band. Wrong orientation to be a side decoration. So maybe these become, let's just cut them up because they're no use to me in this format. So I'm going, okay, what did I say this was? 6 inches? Exactly 6. So where does 3 end up being? So 3 is a good place to cut it because it keeps the word intact. And, you know, a little 3-inch journaling card is probably, you know, a half decent size. So then I would, that's one, boy, that's kind of, those are long words. Not that they have to all be exactly the same size. So can I swing 1 3/4 or not? 1 3/4. Well, let's just start cutting and see what we get. And if it looks like I'm going to cut something that shouldn't be cut, then I won't cut it. How's that for taking the bull by the horns? So that's kind of cute. This could almost also be the basis for clusters or something. And again, some of these, you know, why would I put an acorn in a baby book or a leaf? Whoops, almost cut that too. See, I have to cheat a bit here. So yeah, some of these things obviously will not make the cut into a baby book. Actually, neither will that honey. In fact, why am I wasting your time doing that? I'm going to, just for the sake of moving on, I'm going to clip these things together. It'll be clear to me what my intention was, but I would only be using the ones that actually make sense in a baby book. So I'm putting a clip on this as well and throwing it back in the bin. Okay, now what I also said when I showed this in the haul video is that the orientation is wrong for, unless the person was doing the tall skinny. So what I would like to do instead is, first of all, salvage the top and bottom borders. So actually, see, it's like in every situation, there's always the guy that's going upstream, against the flow, against the tide. And I think just for that, he might have to be decapitated. At first, I was just going to clear the tops of this kid's head, but I think it might be better, actually, 8.5. You know what I could do? Let's see where the halfway mark is. Now, this cutter only goes up to 5 inches, so halfway is probably about there. I could just miss this kid's foot here and get 2 small signature pages. And then, because initially I was thinking that I would cut the bottom off, cut the top off, and then whatever was left on the sides would be a page decoration. But I think I like this idea better. So I'm thinking that that's probably pretty close to halfway. Not even close. What the heck? How come I'm half an inch out? So that could be, you know, just folded as signature page. Another option, but then I'd lose something, especially since I didn't cut them in half. I could sew them together the same way I did this and end up with either top loading or side loading pockets. I'm going to keep that as a possibility. So I don't know what's going to happen with that one yet. Here is another directional piece of paper. And I think that here, you know, there are fewer moving parts. So I'm just going to, actually, why don't I just tear it since I've got some torn pages already. I can fold it exactly where I want it to be. Seven. So darn cute. I'm just going to basically clear that balloon and tear on the fold. Now, of course, it, you know, again, probably depending on the sex, you know, there could be something added at the bottom of this page. You know, chances are if it were a boy, we probably wouldn't be doing too much lace, because we do have those gender stereotypes to reinforce, don't we? And this is so, so, so cute. Now, what I think I would do with this one is keep it intact. So maybe just fold back about 1 inch or so here. Let this part be sewn in and let this just be folded into. I should, this is so risky for me to do this, because then I fold it in a certain way and then I think, oh, I could have done that differently. I could have done it better. See what I mean? I almost made a sharp crease right there. This way we can keep the babies in formation, but it will open out like that. Okay, cool. So what I wanted to show, where are they? Were some of the possible pages that I have already sort of pulled together. Okay. I don't know if I pre-selected these really, or if I was just keeping them in on the short list. Now this one is cute in that it has space to enter the kid's name, date of birth, arrival, height, weight, blah, blah, blah. Now there's a lot of white space around it. How tall is this? So this is really the size of a signature. So maybe we'll keep this as a possible centerfold. So we have a vintage baby here. But again, how much of this does a person use in a book if I want to work in, well, this was out of that journal that I got from Angela that I won from her last April's thing. So this matches that, the little bag I showed you. So I thought that should get included. This is purple and green, so this should definitely be included. So let's maybe just start putting a few things together and see how they look. Of course, up until the moment you start sewing stuff in, you have the option of changing the order. Here's another one. Now, with my personal preference, well, let me just back up a bit on that. When I first started making journals and was pretty dubious about my ability to sew in signatures, like wasn't feeling particularly confident, that's breakage that would need to be either inked or covered or reinforced. I would, and also depending on whose YouTube videos I was watching, because you know sometimes you only, if you limit who you watch, you only know what that particular person is teaching. So I remember I watched a lot of Pam at the Paper Outpost because, of course, with all her subscribers, she ranks really high in the search engines. And that's what, you know, that's how, a person, how videos kind of become, how you become aware of them, especially before you really know what it is that you're, you know, when you don't know what you're looking for. So Pam, Gail Augustinelli, some of those European creators like Rachel and Tina at Shabby Dabby Doodle, I was watching a lot of these people. And I think it was Pam that was saying something like, well, I have, you know, 15 or 20 pages in a signature. Well, when I did that, eventually, you know, you see other people saying, I only put 7 or 8 pages in because the book lies better and blah, blah, blah. And all of a sudden, you realize, well, there's more than one way to skin a cat. And what does Hazel think? Like, what is my experience? What do I prefer? Not what is necessarily someone else saying that I should do. And I certainly hope that you are using that same sort of thinking. This looks pretty, mind you, maybe I shouldn't eliminate this one just yet because obviously there are a lot of bright colors going here. So maybe having some that are a wee bit lighter, more pastel, would be a good thing just to give one's eye a break. Now some of this is cardstock, so we're also adding that kind of bulk to the journal. So it's not only how many pages, it's how thick are those pages. I'm going to just open this up, set it off to the side so I don't forget about it, but at this point it's not looking hopeful that it's going to make the cut. So then we also have these that we kind of just did. So let's tuck some of these things in. And you'll notice that there is a fair number, well, there are polka dots and solids, but there are also a fair number of striped papers, because I don't happen to like striped papers, it seems. Unless, of course, I really like the colors that are going on. Okay, so, as I've gotten more comfortable with sewing in signatures, my technique has improved, my results have improved. I would much rather make more signatures that are smaller in size than what's going on here? That are smaller in size than make one humongous signature just because I'm too lazy to do 2 signatures or 3. Okay, let's, just for the heck of it, count and see what I've got here. Now this feels, let's pull in that cover. Now, with the way and because this is, you know, obviously bigger than it needs to be, there is a lot of room to grow here. So, and I do have something that will be trimmed either top or bottom when the time comes. But I've learned the hard way not to. I'd rather do something twice and do it right than do it once and find out that, oops. Oh, and we've got this too. Okay, let's just count and see where we stand. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. And, I mean, I think color-wise it's looking pretty good. Maybe I should find another place for these little kids. Make it a little easier to handle. Now, of course, this isn't giving any allowance for including an envelope in the, you know, a sewn-in envelope. This is not my favorite, so I could leave it out. Let's do that right now, put it aside. These colors, I don't know. They don't look as good here. But if the kid ends up being, and I also have this that I said I could turn into another. What I should do, rather than cut something off and be sorry, let me just make a pencil mark. That's going to be a very dark pencil. This is going to be very light. Make 2 or 3 marks where I should fold that back. And, you know, rather than cut it off, it ends up reinforcing the opening of the pocket. I'm going to fold it this way first, so I can see, and I see it doesn't want to fold very well. Fold it this way first, just so I can see my marks. And then fold it back on itself. And hopefully it now matches the height of this one. Pretty good. And it really didn't cut much of that kid's head off. Okay, let me just add a little dab of, or let's use our glitter glue because it's such a narrow spot. So essentially, we'll do another flip through of those pages and see how they look. And who knows, maybe I'll decide that I want to add a couple more. And then just decide to split it into 2 signatures. I might as well glue these 2 together. I think I'd like to have it open on the side, so we'll glue top and bottom. Oh, so so I guess there was no point in reinforcing that, was there? Anyway, it may turn out that I'm better off. Okay, let's make sure they're both right side up. Yes, sirree. Line it up, at least get it good on one side. Mind you, I should have done the top first. That way, if there was any discrepancy, I could trim the bottom. But I think it's almost as though I measured it or something. Okay, fold this guy in half. Count it as a signature. Oh, I don't think I finished saying that if the kid ends up being a girl, these 2 pages might be the perfect addition because it does introduce a bit of pink there. Now I do have some of these vintagey ones. Now this is the same style out of the same book. And this kind of works out nicely in that, you know, each stanza or whatever would be on a different on its own page. Yeah, I think I want to have that tie in with this, where is it? This birth stats thing here. I'm just taking a look at the time. Oh my goodness, we're over an hour. Okay, let me quickly wind this up. This is also so sweet. It's fairly thin, but of course, because this is partly gone, I would be inclined to, you know, cover it. Okay. The Land of Nod. Maybe I'll go with the black and white one. Okay, I'm hanging on to this to see where these two should go. So let's pretend that this is a book. We flip, flip, flip. That goes well together. That's, I mean, neither here nor there, but maybe this could go here. Okay. Keep going. We've got some room to write. That may not be the greatest. That's so darn cute. I have to remember about this. Now, this is pretty plain, but of course, it will be decorated in some format. I like the way this looks against each other. So we'll leave that for the time being. What happens if we put this here? That adds some whimsy. That's the back of that green paper that I did want to include. So here I've glued some trim on, just ordinary copy paper. Here is this pocket that this all kind of looks really good together, I would say. Polka dots. There's this thing, this, and this. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19. So it feels like a person should add maybe I do have to use this. But where? But where? But where? So I'm thinking it'll end up being 2 signatures of 10 pages each. So this, let's just see. That's 5 3/4. So I could, now mind you, I've already put that fold in there. So see what I mean about, and you could, you probably can't, or maybe you can see there's, well, maybe I didn't do that. I'm going to leave this for the time being because this could either end up being like that, or I could end up folding it back on itself. And mind you, that wouldn't be much of a, that wouldn't be a good idea for a pocket because it would be so hard to put anything in. So more than likely that would just be a flip out. Okay, so again, sorry to belabor this, but let's look and pretend. Now, where there is a partial thing like this, of course, I have to add something on the other side. So we'll go all the way to the end. Now, I could, no, but I've made that crease. I could also, another thing I could do is, you know, cut an inch or so off here. Be getting very close to this little cutie pie with this little kerchief on her head. This, I didn't know how I was going to handle that, but I might just glue some lace or something on there. Okay, and this time we're going to go all the way to the end because we do have to add, you know, again, that would be covered. This has to be covered. Plain white, plain white. This is, I should punch that as a reminder that it's from the side. Then I've got this little doohickey. Now I could find an envelope and glue it on. That would probably be a good idea there. but again, it adds bulk. And then I've got this little guy here. Now, I suppose I could, if I'm getting scared about the thickness of the book, I could glue this down here. That's always an option. Then there's this thing that would need something attached to it. And, you know, this looks good together, but I don't know that it's necessarily going to be the front page. Anyway, this, until, like I said, until it's sewn in, anything is possible. But I feel better that I've made some progress on this because honestly, I was starting to feel a little bit like, get with the program, woman. So anyway, I hope that this has been somewhat instructive to you. And I also hope that maybe you took the opportunity. Oh, and I also have this that I could be using somewhere. Because I think I was at 19, wasn't I? So I'm actually a page short. Anyway, I did say I was letting it go, didn't I? What happens if I put this here? That's not too bad. Huh. That could be very cute. Think about that being a pocket. And of course, anyway, okay. Obviously, there's more to be done here. Thank you so much for hanging in. Yeah, we will see you guys in the next one. Bye.